starting the week, prepping out, getting ready for Senior Day in Autzen Stadium. Our last game of the 2018 season at home. Certainly, for the seniors, a very, always an emotional moment. Guys that have done a lot for the program, and looking forward to prepping well, giving them the best opportunity, to have success on Saturday. With that being said, open to questions.
Questions? Mario, can we just start with the injury update? You had a lot of guys there after the game between CJ, Cyrus, Sampson, Adrian, Stephen Jones. Just can you rattle off the update on several of these guys?
Can you give me all of them again? Because I try to keep them all at the forefront.
Well, let's start with your running backs, CJ and Cyrus.
CJ tweaked his neck a little bit. I think he's going to be okay. Sampson and Stephen Jones are both in concussion protocol, similar to what we had a couple weeks ago with the other guys. Cyrus had a quad contusion, a pretty significant one, where he was so swollen he could not get back on the plane at the risk of, again, flying on a blood clot. But he came back okay. He flew back yesterday, and he's doing very well, much better than expected. A couple other ones that you had mentioned, I'm trying to think. Adrian Jackson, as you saw on the block punt, he fell awkwardly on his shoulder and tweaked it a little bit, but we don't see it as being significant at the moment, significant enough where he came out of the game. But after being evaluated yesterday, we feel very optimistic that he'll be good to go for practice tomorrow full speed.
On the right, Ryan?
Mario, if you have to lean on Travis a little bit more in the running game due to getting banged up with those other guys you mentioned, how much does that second half give you confidence that maybe you could lean on him?
Travis he's a pretty special freshman. I think you saw, against a team that was really good at defending the run. He found some good chunk plays in there, a 9-yarder or 17-yarder, made some guys miss, hit the holes with speed, was patient to the hole, and ran with speed, and it came out through it, with some explosiveness. Also caught the ball really well. We have confidence in Travis. Those guys might be young, but they're guys that that we trust, and like any freshman, they have their faults, but they're hard workers and they're dedicated and committed. So we trust him.
And again.
Did anything change with the running game with him in there, or was it just better execution by the offensive line at that point?
I think better execution. I think we started getting better, as the game went on. We felt that they were such a big group of guys who are really good at stuffing up the A and the B gap runs. We started getting the wide zone game going and started kind of pinning the backside with some man schemes and some full blocking that allowed us to get some plays going. And he hit him. When he hit him well. He did break 3 tackles on his runs. His point of attack grade was relatively high. So overall, we felt he did a good job. CJ had a couple of nice runs as well.
Gary, second row on the right.
Yeah, Coach, at the beginning of the season, you mentioned that the offensive line the year before had played about over 90% of the snaps. Mm-hmm. And that this season it would probably be different. Mm-hmm. So in lieu that there's injuries now, not that you ever wanted those, but is it that much of a difference because you were wanting to play more players anyway? You see what I'm saying? It's just, are they pretty, you got to think they're all ready because you had that in place in the first place?
I think it helps alleviate, the situation when you do have injuries. I think you want your frontline guys to take the majority of the snaps. I think when, Stephen Jones, on a side note, played a tremendous game, in his first start. I mean, he really, he was a significant factor in a lot of the things that were done in a positive manner on Saturday. But I think, I don't think you ever want to lose a Penei Sewell throughout the course of the season. You certainly want to lose Stephen. Dallas has been banged up on and off, but he's been able to fight through. I think between the use of and the playing time of a Capra and a Dallas Warmack and Throckenson over there, you almost have 3 guys to make up for one, due to some of the injuries that they had. And Brady has stepped in there and done a nice job. So to me, I think it's a positive thing that you can get guys in there to play. Do you ever want to lose the guys that are initially stars that won it? No, I think that's always something that's, you have to work and you have to prepare to overcome that in some way, shape, or form. So, you want to play guys. You don't want to play them strictly due to an injury situation. I guess that's the best way I could answer that.
Right, Ryan?
Jordan Scott, to his credit, kind of came out and represented the defense after the game and put a lot of the blame on himself. for how he's playing. How important is it for him to get back to his game in terms of just stuffing that run and being strong up front?
Well, the way that we play defense, the nose tackle really is a critical piece. It controls the A gaps. He's going to be tough on himself. He's going to be very critical of himself because he has a lot of pride, and not only in what he is, but in performance as well. So I trust that he'll get back to form. I think it shows a lot about a young man when he can kind of own up and say, "Hey, I want to play better." And my response to him is like, "Well, we're going to coach you better. We're going to give you opportunities to be in situations where it can alleviate, sometimes those double teams that you're getting down after down after down." So, but again, we trust Jordan. We trust he's gonna bounce back and have a better performance.
James? Just what are the contingencies, Mario, for the offensive line and for linebacker, where if your front line is basically the group that we saw with Jake obviously at center and Throck at left tackle, what do the contingencies start to be if Steven is out? Is it George Moore at tackle? Is it Kaepernick guard? Throck is the backup center at that point. At linebacker, if Sampson is out, is that Keith in? And basically, who starts to fall in after that? Because after that, they're just guys aren't listed on this depth chart, haven't played very much this season after that.
Sure. You must have been in our meeting this morning, But those are the right answers at offensive line. George got in for a couple snaps this last game. Capra has a multiple position value. Alex Forsythe has also repped at all three positions, the center position, both guards and tackles. And during the week of practice, for now 3 weeks, they've all gotten reps. Ever since Panay got hurt, we've been kind of, I wouldn't say musical chairs, but we've been getting guys multiple reps at multiple positions. If the linebacker position goes another step, now you look at guys like MJ Cunningham, the red shirt potentially coming off. Nate Hukalana, who's been with us. We got a couple of guys that we have been prepping in case it does get to that point. But as of right now, those are the guys that we're prepping with and going with. But as you know, you do have to have a so-called emergency plan in case it does get to that point.